In continuation to our discussion on chemistry of alkenes, we shall discuss today about polymerization reactions. In the previous session, we discussed addition on carbon-carbon double bond, Markovnikov's rule, its mechanistic justification in terms of stability of carbocation, because the mechanism of addition across carbon-carbon double bond suggests that in the slow rate determining step carbocation is formed. We also discussed free radical or anti-Markovnikov addition, wherein a free radical is produced and it is the relative stability of free radical that is the mechanistic justification for orientation of anti-Markovnikov products. Oxidative and oxidative ozonolysis also we discussed, which cleaves both the carbon-carbon double bonds, that means the sigma as well as pi, both the carbon-carbon bonds are cleaved. We also discussed hydroxylation using peracid, which is a stereospecific 1,2 anti-addition reaction, bringing in two hydroxyl groups anti to each other in 1,2 position. Hydroxylation with potassium permanganate was also discussed, which is also a stereospecific 1,2 syn addition reaction, wherein two hydroxyl groups come in 1,2 positions, but they are syn to each other. Another important reaction that was discussed was hydroboration reaction, which is a concerted one step addition reaction. Though we consider as if a carbocation is involved, but the reaction being concerted, nowhere a carbocation is formed in the reaction. The alkaline oxidation of the alkyl borane so produced yields primary alcohols. So, with that background, today we shall discuss polymerization reactions of alkenes, which may be by ionic and free radical mechanism, copolymerization, which is another important aspect, wherein more than one type of substituted alkenes react, we shall discuss, and several examples and chemistry of certain polymers from daily life shall be included. To define the process or the term polymerization, we say that joining together of many simpler units identical to each other or at least chemically similar in a regular fashion to form a large molecule, that is polymer. The simple compounds from which polymers are produced are called as monomers. We shall discuss examples of monomers containing a simple carbon-carbon double bond. Such polymers are formed in two general ways. The most common or the simplest process is termed as chain reaction or addition polymerization. So, as the name indicates, and as our previous discussions we have seen addition reactions across carbon-carbon double bond. So, in the similar manner polymers are produced in a series of reaction. So, in that case monomers containing carbon-carbon double bond are added one by one by mechanism involving either a free radical or a cation or an anion. These are, as you know, reactive intermediates. Each reaction consumes such a reactive intermediate and produces another similar one to continue the reaction. To start with, addition polymerization by free radical mechanism. Keeping in mind the mechanism of addition on carbon-carbon double bond and via free radical as already discussed in the previous session, let us consider polymerization of ethylene as a monomer. It requires a small amount of an initiator, which is generally a peroxide. It functions by breaking down to form a free radical. A peroxide is written here as a peroxide, it breaks down into a radical. This radical reacts with say a ethylene molecule, wherein we say that radical CH2 with this carbon a dot, that is a radical, is produced. So, such a alkynyl radical then in the next step reacts with a monomer, that is the same alkene molecule, which again gets added on to, leaving behind a free radical, and the reaction continues in this manner. So, the free radical so generated with the addition of one alkene unit further adds to a monomer molecule to form a new bigger free radical. Let us examine the mechanistic steps for such a polymerization reaction, considering a group G in general as a substituent in place of one hydrogen atom in CH2 double bond CH2. Here you can see this peroxide radical is generated, radical reacting with this monomer, in which we have shown G as a general group in place of one hydrogen atom. So, accordingly this radical is produced, and this radical would again react or gets added onto another monomer containing the same G or the same group. So, in this way we can say two such monomeric units are added. So, the reaction is after initiation is being propagated, and each step several such monomeric units one by one shall keep on adding till we get desired polymer. At the end, the possibilities are to terminate the reactions that these large polymeric radicals may combine to give further still much bigger and a high molecular weight polymer. As you can see in this portion of the reaction, this is from here is one part, one radical, and here is the other radical. So, both of them they combine from radical to radical, and such a large high molecular weight polymeric molecule is produced. Another possibility is that two such large polymeric radicals come closer and they disproportionate. So, their terminals are, one of them abstracts a hydrogen. So, this would become CH2 CHG, and another would have a double bond ending CH double bond CHG. So, the reaction chain is terminated by steps that consume, but do not form free radicals. Polymerization by ionic mechanism. In this case, chain reaction or addition polymerization can proceed with ions instead of free radicals, either cation or anion, depending upon the kind of initiator we use to start the polymerization. In general, we are considering a reaction in which Y is taken as an acid. So, in organic chemistry, an acid, say for example, is a sulfuric acid or H plus or a Lewis acid, which is capable of accepting electrons from the pi bond of this monomeric unit, as is shown in this case. So, this acid unit gets added onto one of the carbons, and the other carbon is a cationic or a carbocationic carbon. So, this carbocationic carbon, being deficient in electrons, gets added onto another monomeric unit with the electrons of this pi bond, and in this manner another monomer gets added. So, in a similar manner, one monomeric unit gets added or consumed at every step, and another cation is produced. So, in general, as I mentioned already, sulfuric acid with a trace of water or aluminum chloride BF3 etc., as Lewis acids are used as acid catalyzed polymerization reactions. In the anionic mechanism, we start, our initiator is a base. Base is an electron donor. So, since the two carbons in this double bonded system are capable of accommodating additional electrons or electrons coming from a base. So, we have shown it in the through these arrows in this manner, and this base gets added onto this carbon, and the other carbon accommodates a pair of electrons in its p orbital and becomes an anion, and we represent it as a carbon ion. So, this carbon ion attacks onto another monomeric unit with this double bonded system, and now another carbon ion is produced. So, the initiators in this reaction as base are generally either organometallic compounds like N-butyl lithium or other bases like lithium amide. Termination in cationic polymerization takes place by the carbocation undergoing either ejection of a proton to form an alkene at the terminal, or combination with an anion to satisfy the electron deficient carbocationic terminal carbon. In anionic polymerization, termination involves reaction with an impurity, for example, or some other molecule not necessarily a part of the polymerization system. So, this is how the ionic polymers gets terminated into the final polymer. An inhibitor in fact is known as any compound that is added which reacts with the growing free radical to generate a new free radical that is not reactive enough to add to monomer. So, a reaction chain is terminated, but no new one starts. Such a compound is called inhibitor. Many amines, phenols and quinones act as inhibitors, although their exact mode of action is not very well understood. You can see here a radical coming from our polymerization inhibitor, as I mentioned certain names amines, phenols, etc. So, it is added, it terminates this chain here, and inhibitor is produced in such a way which is unreactive and cannot initiate, cannot continue the reaction further. So, that is why it is termed as inhibitor. Since even traces of certain impurities acting as chain transfer agents or inhibitors can interfere with polymerization process. So, the monomers used must be very pure organic chemicals, and in fact, they are among the purest organic chemicals or samples used under the polymerization reactions. For all these kinds of polymers, there is a term, very important term used, which is known as tacticity. It is referred to as the relative stereochemistry of adjacent chiral centers within a polymer, particularly in vinyl polymers. So, tacticity affects the physical properties of polymers. We shall examine certain examples and their stereochemical orientation. You can see in this representation here all methyl groups, methyl, methyl, methyl and so on one side of the extended chain. This is these black dots, they indicate the carbons of the monomer, and methyl is the substituent. And so, this is the backbone of the polymer with these black dots, and we can see that a methyl group on each is on the same side or one side of the extended chain. Such polymers are termed as isotactic polymers, and they are usually semi crystalline and often form a helical configuration. Another important stereochemical orientation of polymers is syndiotactic. The substituents have alternate positions along the backbone or the polymeric chain. For example, in the given molecule here the same, the methyl groups are alternating regularly from one side to side. In the methyl group on this carbon is on the right hand side, on the other carbon the methyl is on the left hand side, and similarly they are alternating right hand side, left hand side and so on. Syndiotactic polystyrene made by metallocene catalysis polymerization is a crystalline molecule with a melting point of 161 degree centigrade. You must have heard name of gutta percha, which is also an example of syndiotactic polymer. You can see here in this slide, this is the in fact a plant gutta percha, and the latex obtained from this plant produced from the sap of this tree is known as gutta percha, which has its large number of commercial applications, and that belongs to a syndiotactic category in terms of stereochemical orientation of a polymer. Another stereochemical orientation is atactic. In atactic polymers, the substituents are placed randomly along the backbone or main chain of the polymer. You can see in this diagram methyl groups are not systematically placed, they are randomly distributed in the chain. Polymers that are formed by free radical mechanism such as polyvinyl chloride are usually atactic. Most of the industrial polystyrene produced is atactic. Due to their random nature, atactic polymers are usually amorphous, they are soft, elastic and rubbery in nature. Atactic polymers are technologically very important and commercially very useful. You can see here a summary of certain polymers with their names and structures of monomers. Polyethylene, this is also produced as high density polyethylene and low density polyethylene, while the monomer for each of them is ethylene. And but the principal method in terms of mechanism, for high density polyethylene it is coordination polymerization, while for low density polymerization it is radical chain addition reaction, as we have just discussed. Another important is polystyrene. The monomer is CH2 double bond CH C6H5. Earlier we discussed a general group G. So, that G here we can say is a C6H5 or a phenyl moiety, that is the monomer is polystyrene. So, isomer so produced by peroxide catalyzed radical chain reaction of this polystyrene is isotactic in nature. Another polymer is polyisobutylene, the monomer structure is shown and which is a base catalyzed polymerization reaction, anionic mechanism using butyl lithium as the catalyst. PVC, polyvinyl chloride, monomer is CH2 double bond CHCl. So, our G here is Cl. This is the principal method is redox catalysis. Teflon, from your daily life you must be aware of Teflon. Large number of kitchen utensils and other materials are having a Teflon coating. So, this Teflon is CF2 double bond CF2 and it is produced by radical chain reaction. Another important polymer from our daily life is polymethyl methacrylate. The commercial names or usable materials made from this polymer, they are known as plexiglass or lucite. You can see here both the hydrogens on one of the carbon are substituted. One is COOCH3, a methyl ester portion, and another hydrogen by a methyl group. So, that is why it is known as methyl methacrylate. This is also produced by radical chain addition reaction. Another important polymer from daily life is polyacrylonitrile, which is also known as Orlon. The commercial or the trade name, one of the trade names is Orlon. And in this case, one of the hydrogens of our simple ethylenic molecule is substituted by CN. So, earlier we discussed in terms of general group G. So, here it is CN and polymer in this case is produced by radical chain addition reaction. Polyvinyl acetate monomer you can see. So, one H is substituted by OCOCH3 acetate group. This is also produced by radical chain addition reaction. Polyvinyl oxide, very important. So, this is a simply ethylene oxide. It is a base catalyzed anionic polymerization reaction takes place. Polyisoprene in terms of stereochemical orientation. So, this is a cis isomer. This is the unit of isoprene and this is also a base catalyzed using butyl lithium as the catalyst. Anionic polymerization is the mode of mechanism to produce such polyisoprene unit. In fact, this is also known as a synthetic rubber. After discussing the different aspects of polymerization of alkenes, we should examine copolymerization reactions. A copolymer or a copolymer is a polymer that contains two or more kinds of monomeric units in the same molecule. For example, polymerization of styrene with methyl methacrylate. You can see the reaction here. This is styrene CH2 double bond CH phenyl group and this is methyl methacrylate. So, one monomer is styrene and another monomer is methyl methacrylate. So, the polymeric unit would be in this manner we can say, and the reaction continues with this. We can change the composition of copolymers by changing the concentration of one of the monomeric units, because as we have discussed it contains two or more different monomeric units. If we compare the properties of such copolymers, for example, with a polymer of styrene or we call polystyrene, that means the monomer is only styrene. So, the polystyrene has good electric insulation properties for radios, TV, automobiles, etc. But if this styrene molecule is copolymerized with butadiene 30% ratio, so that polymer becomes very tough, very hard. If butadiene with this styrene molecule is in 75% ratio, so we get an elastomer, which is the main substitute for natural rubber in the United States after World War II. So, in other words, this is a kind of a synthetic rubber. Acrylonitrile, we take again our one monomer is styrene and another monomer is acrylonitrile with 20 to 30% ratio. It increases resistance to impact and to hydrocarbons. It is not soluble in different hydrocarbons. So, it has its great industrial application. If we take another monomer maleic anhydride with the styrene for example, again we get a water soluble polymer used as a dispersant and sizing agent in various industrial processes. Similarly, with such copolymers, we have another example known as carbowax, which is a water soluble wax, and the monomers are 1 ether and ethylene oxide. So, this is a section of such a copolymer. Neoprene, which is oil resistant elastomer. The monomers are chloroalkene, 2-chloro-1,3-butadiene. So, you can see the section of such polymer from neoprene. Saran, this is the name of commercial name of a polymer, which is used for preparing packing films, seat covers, etc. So, this is also a polymer from chloroalkane, that is 1,1-dichloroethene. So, this is the section of a polymer shown over here. Polymers like polystyrene and polyethenes are long chains made of carbon atoms. They are insulators in general. They do not conduct electricity or heat. Their most common use is in insulation for electric wires. Their properties. We have just discussed copolymers. Copolymer of styrene with butadiene in 75% ratio is an elastomer, which is the main substitute for rubber in the United States after World War II. In other words, we can say it is a kind of a synthetic rubber, a substitute for natural rubber. So, let us see in terms of our polymerization of alkenes what natural rubber is. We have also mentioned about the molecule isoprene. Natural rubber can be considered as a polymer of conjugated diene, that is 2-methyl-1,3-butadiene, which is the IUPAC name of isoprene. Here it is shown, this isoprene unit, and its polymer in terms of as a polyisoprene, which is a section of natural rubber, polymer natural rubber. Whole N indicates the polymeric part, and it is a section of that monomeric unit coming from isoprene unit. And they are all, when we represent in terms of stereochemical orientation, we find that all are, this is a cis polyisoprene in the natural rubber. All configurations in this case are shown as cis configurations in terms of with respect to this carbon-carbon double bond. When we discuss about rubber, so cross linking is another important term which we should discuss. It will not be out of context to mention about a few lines about the term cross linking. Cross linking in rubber is brought about by vulcanization. So, vulcanization is the name of a process in which or which deals with heating the rubber with sulfur, which causes formation of sulfur bridges between molecules. The reaction occurs at reactive allylic positions and thus depends on the double bonds in the polymer, in this case rubber. The cross link make the rubber much harder and stronger and do away with the tackiness property of the untreated rubber. Here we can see this case, a section of the polymeric section from the polymer rubber. This is from the natural rubber, and here in this case after vulcanization we find that in different positions a sulfur bond is established, in some other places a sulfur bond is established. So, this is a section of the polymeric vulcanized rubber, bringing in the molecule much strength and removal of tackiness. To summarize, we can say we discussed today polymerization of alkenes by different mechanisms, free radical mechanism, cationic and anionic mechanism. We have also seen their terminations by different methods for all the three different mechanistic aspects or steps. We discussed about tacticity of polymers, that is isotactic, syndiotactic and atactic stereochemical orientation of polymers, particularly the polymers of vinylic nature. We have also seen various substituted monomeric ethylenes and their polymers with their names and major method of polymerization in terms of free radical or anionic or cationic modes. We have also discussed copolymerization and its effect on properties of various polymers and their industrial applications because of different properties, along with natural rubber, synthetic rubber and vulcanization of rubber also. In the next lecture, we shall discuss about another aspect of polymerization, that is condensation polymerization. We shall deal with several examples and chemistry of some of the polymers from our daily life, application of very important catalyst which is known as Ziegler-Natta catalyst, and stereochemistry of some common polymers based on Ziegler-Natta catalyst. We shall discuss formation of polyurethane, a very important commercial polymer with large number of industrial applications, and one of the most modern aspect of polymers, that is conducting polymer.